These are the kind of images we are used to seeing from the West Coast or from rural Canada or even the smoggy cities of China and South Asia. But this, it's home. The Harrisburg riverfront choked in thick, potentially dangerous wildfire smoke yet again from the early morning hours into the early afternoon. The air quality here in the Mid-State was among the worst anywhere in the entire world. Good evening. I'm Valerie Pritchett.
I'm Alicia Richards. So glad you're with us. I feel like coughing right now. Yeah. That smoke is certainly sticking around. Sometimes you can't taste it. Not great for any of us, but especially for the people with certain health issues and for those involved in local sports.
We have team coverage tonight, beginning with the one who tells us when this might finally end, Chief Meteorologist Eric Finkenbeiner.
And what we saw this morning, that's about as worse as it gets around here. And for a lot of us, it's the first time we actually saw something like that happen. Now, I want to show you, this is a time lapse. This is showing as we take you to Wrightsville. And just notice we begin to see a little bit more of a clearer picture off in the distance. Not completely clear, but certainly much less smoke haze compared to what we saw this morning. This morning, too, our AQI index, by the way, was over 300. I believe I saw a time it was like 408, which was in the hazardous. Yeah, that's about as bad as it can get. Now, instead of being at hazardous and very unhealthy, we're back to unhealthy. So it's still not great, but we have seen improvement from this morning. And that's kind of the story here as we move into the next 24 hours. It may not be as bad. There is some improvement, but it is still going to be here for Friday, also even moving into early Saturday. Once those winds shift out of the southwest, then we really begin to clear that out. We'll talk more about that when it happens over the weekend. And yes, we're still talking about some rain, which that'll also help this situation too. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Eric. The 2023 Special Olympics Summer Games in State College are a casualty of our air quality crisis. Organizers say the decision to cancel was incredibly difficult, knowing how much the games mean to nearly 1,700 athletes and thousands of volunteers who look forward to it every year. But ultimately, they say the poor conditions gave them no choice.
Our athletes, many of them have underlying health issues. Our athletes have an increased occurrence of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, all things that put them at risk.
The games were supposed to run today through Saturday.
Well, this smoky haze is causing all kinds of problems for local sports. The York Revolution were the only local baseball team, pro team, that decided to play last night, but they have postponed their game tonight. On the flip side, the Harrisburg Senators and Lancaster Barnstormers both postponed last night's games. The Senators will play tonight, and as of now, the Barnstormers are still on as well. Elsewhere, Penn National canceled horse racing for the second day in a row.
Well, from ball fields to backyards to doctors' offices, this is affecting Mid-Staters in all kinds of ways.
In local emergency rooms, they are seeing some things you'd expect and some things you might not expect. Seth Kaplan live in Cumberland County now to continue our team coverage. Seth.
Right, Alicia and Valerie. Here on the west shore of the Susquehanna River, looking back toward Harrisburg, or at least trying to. Not much of a view today, although at least one local hospital is seeing more people come in.
It's confusing times, isn't it?
Dr. Rebecca Bascom, who leads the health and environment team at Penn State Hershey.
Who would have thought that Canadian Air would be messing with central Pennsylvania?
But here we are. And at the Hershey emergency room, no surgeon patients, but they're seeing more children than usual who had existing breathing issues. No surprise there. But listen to this.
There has been an atypical increase in strokes as well.
Why strokes?
It's not just someone with asthma.
We're all dealing with something called PM 2.5.
PM 2.5 is particulate matter that is of a size that'll get down into your respiratory system. This PM 2.5 impacts all the organ systems, and many people have a chronic condition that they need to think about when the air is bad.
Including chronic conditions that have nothing to do with breathing. Suddenly, something folks out west have been watching for years.
As far as air quality goes,
is a part of our vocabulary.
Air quality across the mid-state.
Some advice now is opposite of the pandemic. Right now, we're safest inside, not outside. But when you are outside, well, this part is just like the pandemic.
Those N95 masks work as well for preventing the particles.
And if you have asthma, follow your existing asthma management plan.
The purpose of asthma management plans is to allow people to adjust to the bumps in the road. This is definitely a big bump in the road.
Different issues from the ones folks at the Penn State Hershey Pulmonary Function Lab confront most weeks.
When I woke up on Monday morning, I did not expect to be being interviewed about wildfires.
I did ask Dr. Bascom, what about allergy sufferers? She said, similar to asthma patients, just do whatever you're supposed to do when your allergies get bad. And of course, if you have any unusual concerns, call your doctor. Live in Cumberland County, Seth Kaplan, ABC 27 News.
All right, Seth, thank you very much. And of course, all this is because of those wildfires in Canada. But don't forget our own fire danger. This was the result of a small brush fire earlier this week in Lebanon County. You can see the Mount Zion Fire Company put that out quickly. Lebanon County's burn ban went into effect today, joining York County already in effect and Lancaster County, whose ban begins tomorrow. Elsewhere, some municipalities have their own bans. High Spire and Dauphin County is among the latest.
This bad air isn't just a problem for us. It can be very dangerous for our pets, aka fur babies. Sonica Bargo continues our team coverage with more on what we should know as pet owners. Sonica.
Valerie, the best advice is to keep your pets indoors, but if that's not possible, there are other things you can do and watch out for.
Think about your pets the same as you would think about yourself.
The Humane Society of Harrisburg area is reminding people to keep their pets in mind when it comes to the air quality alerts in the mid-state.
It's always better to play it safe.
Outreach Director Amanda Brunish says the bad air can be just as much of a problem for animals as it is for us. So if at all possible, keep them inside.
Keep your windows shut. That'll help keep the air quality in your home better.
If you do need to take your pets out, make it fast and make it easy. No long walks or intense exercise.
Especially your dogs are going to have to take them out for potty breaks. Just keep them short.
Brunish says the Humane Society is doing the same thing.
The dogs specifically, we are taking them on just short walks, short potty breaks. We're also doing a lot of enrichment inside, so they're not just sitting in their kennel all day when they're used to having longer walks.
Just like humans, some pets are more vulnerable to these smoky conditions, like older animals or
pets that have cardiovascular issues or respiratory issues. They're going to have trouble as well.
So the most important thing is to keep an eye on your pets.
Make sure they're not showing any symptoms of having issues breathing.
And if you see signs like coughing or asthma-like symptoms, talk to your vet.
Never take the risk of not being sure. If something feels wrong, if you're not sure, just call a professional.
The Humane Society also tells me that while the wildfires causing this smoke are far away, this is as good a time as any to make sure you have a good evacuation plan so you can get yourself, your pets, and everything you'll need out of your home quickly if you have to. In the studio, Sonica Bargo. Valerie, back to you.
Thank you, Sonica. Our team coverage continues around the clock on ABC27.com. We will update the list of canceled and postponed events, and you can always get your most accurate local forecast on the web or on the ABC 27 mobile app.